understand why is it that it's causing so much controversy. I said what I said. I will not be dating a black man who does not have a formal education.
I love people business. So much you can't go in and share all this on people business.
There are a lot of men that are educated because a lot of times they tend to be more manipulative. I see you have a problem with persons saying, hey, girl, you know no sense, you don't say day. I think it hits more because you are off the culture. You know how that relate to you as disrespect. However, you can be talking to an educated man and he call you an imbecile. Will you hold that disrespect at the same weight? Men can be intelligent and disrespectful at the same time. They don't have to speak to you in patois for it to become disrespectful. They not have to say SYM for it to be disrespectful. However, as I said before, I would be seen as racist now because I said I would never date a white man. Why? Mentally, let's say for myself personally, in the next 5 years, I want to be the owner of 2 businesses. It means I do not want to date a white man because I honestly believe that if you had 400 years prior to me to become successful, there is no reason why 15% of America are making over $100,000 a month. It also means majority of white and black people in America are broke, even though a lot of them do have a degree. But it means I am not going to elevate the white race. That is what I am not going to do. So I will never, ever, ever date a white man. I would prefer to choose an African man, a Jamaican man, a Caribbean man, as long as he's black. That is the man I'm going to choose. But that is your preference, Joelle. You can date a white man. But when you say things like that, you have to understand how it can hold weight against you being an educator and how it can come off as being xenophobic, right?
So I want to ask a question, Kira. None of the other 2 men them matter. Only the white man matter, right?
What other 2 men?
I understand. She also spoke about Jewish man and Chinese man. So I wonder if
Yes, the same bracket. You know the reason why? All right, let me tell you. A lot of times people tend to think that Chinese are more educated than the rest of the world, which they are not. Because many times Jamaica went to China and won in mathematics and robotics. Just saying.
But I think your education it go by in one you look at education, but 2 is generational wealth. So hence why I realize that people are more dealing with the colorism part of it, the white man and the black men. Nobody now look on a different or a higher level. Hence why I feel like even the opinions.
Really, let me ask you a question. All right, so here what? Because I see people picking apart me not including, and that is the reason why I even ask you to play the video before, so I get the full context. Because honestly to God, I'm not go over Joelle page, go watch it. I'm really deliberating on the conversation she had prior to now, when the platform was open and what you said. So me grouping them is grouping white, Jews, and Chinese prior. Because even in slavery, Chinese Indian men were paid because they were indentured servants. It no matter how much they were making, if I did even 3 cents, it means the black man wasn't making any. And for the families now that had their black fathers who were uneducated, but they went to the farms with the education in agriculture that they had without a degree on paper, but they were educated enough to plant the yam, plant the pumpkin, go to market, go sell it, and send you to college after, is because it's something that he wanted for himself and he presented it to you. So a lot of times, I don't see why people need to look down on, oh, your father never have no degree, but your dad knew the importance of education, of course, so he wanted it for you. Why? Because it is the standard of society. It's the standard of society, but it also doesn't mean you have to talk down to a black man who is already at risk Because guess what? You know what? They have DEI higher in America. You know what that means? It means if you're black, you have a high chance of not getting the job because you are black. So you can be degreed, but you're not going to get the job because you're black. And that is why, especially in America, you need to be a skilled black man so you can open a plumbing and electrical company. You can open a HVAC company. You can open a cleaning company. You can open a this. You can open a that. Why? Because you are not preference when it comes on to corporate hires because of DEI. Just saying that. So you need so let's not talk down on education like that when it comes on to the black man.
Hold on. So let me ask you a question. So somebody preference in somebody speaking down on education and black man?
Repeat your question, really.
Somebody speaking and dating somebody with a degree and not dating one without is speaking down on the education of black man?
No, in this word, your key word would be somebody. She didn't say somebody.
All right.
She said black men.
Let me rephrase the question. If a black woman come out and say, I would rather date a man who has a degree than a black man that don't have one, is speaking down on education or speaking down on whatever?
No, but it becomes xenophobic.
How is xenophobic and it's not a preference?
Because you will accept mediocre from a white man, but you won't accept it from a black man.
No, me never put no white man in it. So if me come out now and say, me rather date a slim girl than a fat girl, that simply means a body shaming thing, me depend?
No.
My preference of woman.
No, really. That is not, because you don't have to like a thick girl, but this is what I'm saying, because I think you're not understand. Listen, Maridi.
So, may I try to get you say it's xenophobic, right? I am trying to understand if somebody come out, if a woman come out and said, I rather date an educated man than a man that is not educated. What is wrong? Not tell me if you make shit up, man.
No, nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong with that.
Xenophobic or
me not like dunce man neither, really. Me not like dunce man neither.
Okay, so she's saying she would rather date a black man that has a degree than to date a black man without a degree. Right? And that me saying no. I think the problem is what she really mute. Come off of this. You don't need to depend on. So come and see you insult them with your show. Come off. I don't want to know over here saying, I don't want to know chatting, I'm not going like a phone program. If you don't like the program, leave. Again, me telling you, if you don't like the program, leave and go somewhere else. Man, I don't know if they're over here. We don't want someone over here, because someone don't come over here, so when topic I keep, big topic I keep. When important topics are keeping on come. I don't go on somewhere else, so I don't have to stay. Leave. What I am saying, Kira, I am trying to... Me a pussy. Thank you. What you mean, man, then watch your black. And a good thing that, pussy a good thing. Come off of this and go. Move. Leave. Block you all of them. And like how me slow bus. Come off the man. Leave the man. Move. No, come with no foolishness. Me no chatting to none. Block. And come off of this. What I am saying, I want to listen to what me I say, is making a choice between two educational person mean that you're speaking down on education, because you just say you don't want to
no, I don't want no black man. I don't want no dunce man.
So how is she xenophobic?
All right, really, because you're mixing up xenophobia with education, and xenophobia has nothing to do with education. So let me circle the problem. Really, let me circle the problem, please.
Answer me now. Xenophobia means the different kind of men that she put in the category.
The different race men that she would accept over a black man. That's what makes it xenophobic. Okay. All right, so let us circle the problem. Do you know that the outrage...
Well, is there a reason why she would accept these other men over the black man?
Yes, because of also classism. She thinks that they tend to have better class than an uneducated black man.
No. Don't do that.
I never said anything like that.
Joelle, can you stop?
That is it. It would be classism, because if you're willing to accept...
Hold on, listen. Listen, because you say you don't listen to our video, so you don't even know what go on. So let me tell you. She spoke on generational wealth with these men, that they're more likely to have generational wealth, money. That's why.
But that is not true. I literally just said that a while ago. I don't know what world you people are living in to think
Well,
that
I am
they
trying to
are
say,
richer.
I am trying to get you to understand the basis of her video. Let me try.
Read it. Listen to
Instead
me.
of you run. Hold on.
I'm not running around because the problem is, because you wouldn't even make me land what the understanding is. The problem is not her wanting an intelligent man. The problem is she compared that she would rather to date other races that doesn't have a degree over a black man who doesn't have a degree.
Because of generational wealth, money.
Majority of them don't have generational wealth.
We
That is a
don't
lie.
talk about the majority of them, and that me I talk about. Again, we are going to the basis of the video. I would rather date A, B, and C because they would have had a better family structure that would have put them in a
And they don't. That's why I cannot agree with that, because they don't.
You see,
All right,
That is not the majority. They don't.
If you agree with it or not,
Yeah, but read it. You can't tell me if
hold on, man. Kira,
this
I
is
don't
a
want you to agree with
discussion.
it or not. I am giving you the basis of the video. But you are saying, you're going to say, no, not all of them. And I'm just giving you the basis of the video. Me not care if no, all of them are whatever. I know
That is not how the video come across, really. She never said she would have rather date one man when I have a degree over a man. Listen, girl, you included race. You included race. That is what you did.
Didn't watch the
You
video.
included race, and that's how it became a problem, Joelle. You included race, and that's when it became a problem. Me no want a dunce man. You no want a dunce man. The minute you compare that.
Hold on. Make Kira done. Kira, finish the way I say and make we move on. Because again, are we involved the race, you know? You know, so everybody has involved the race. Everybody else involved the race now, just because she's a white man. Hold on. Just because she's a white man, and Asian and Jewish.
So is it that race?
No. Hold on. Everybody put in the race and leave what it is actually talking about.
All right. Kira Lan.
Guess what? Guess what? Milan, because she never said race. The argument is not about race, because that's how it became about race. It's not even education. Even Ricky highlighted the problem, and the problem straight from education, because even Ricky agreed with black men needs to be educated. Yes, that is true. But when you compare dating a Jew, a Chinese, a white man that don't have a degree, you rather them, you know. And them don't have a degree now than for there with your own black man that doesn't have a degree. That is where the disparity is here. That is where the disparity is.
Right, hold on, prim and proper. Hold on,
darling. I just have one point and I'm gonna go.
Hold on, let her talk, please. Go ahead, prim and papa.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Reedy, for adding me. I know you don't know me and it's the first time you're adding me to your platform, but I just want to add a little psychological color in this discussion. And I don't want to negate anybody's feelings, experiences, and what Joelle has been through. I just want to talk briefly about why Jamaica is outraged by the statement, right? So I don't know about the bus card part of it, but the issue that Jamaica has is the statement that I won't date a black man with a degree, but I'll date another. And what Joelle needs to understand, you know, she's a content creator, somewhat an influencer. She have about 52,000 followers. And when you look at the Jamaican space and our culture, to make a statement like that, it can be very problematic. And here's why.
Can I ask you a question? Did she say that she would never date a Jamaican man?
No, sir. That's not what she said.
Okay,
right,
exactly.
When you are, here's how we as Jamaicans think psychologically when we hear a statement that says, I won't date a black man without a degree, but it's problematic really because it implies that she would date another man of another race with less qualification. And to us as Jamaicans, it gives and it implies, it suggests, I'm not saying this is what she's saying, but it suggests internalized racism and it suggests a bias. And that is why everyone is outraged, right? We're not
It cannot be racism, Prim. Cannot be racism.
It's bigotry,
Well, then it's
Mr.
xenophobia.
Reedy.
No,
It's not
it's more,
xenophobia.
it's more
a
of
bigoted
classism.
statement. It's a bigoted statement. And when we look at university graduates versus people who are financially successful, we know that a degree does not necessarily equate to financial success. And she's right to have her preference. I have a postgraduate degree. My partner does not have one, and I have a great partner. But the point is, it would suggest when you bring in the fact that I won't date a black man without a degree, but I'll date one of another race. It suggests that the qualifications of a black man is higher than one who is not of the black race.
No,
And that's
but
weird.
what
That's
I'm
where
trying to
the
say,
people have a problem, sir.
Prim, what I'm saying to you, I don't want you to stop at just date another man without the qualification. I want you to give the example of why I would date these other men without.
No, she's within her rights to date any type of man that she want to. I just want to talk about, as an educator, as a content creator, and someone with a big following, we have a social responsibility to be very mindful of the things that we say to people, right? There's a lot of impressionable people out there, young people, old people. We have to be mindful, right? We're not beating down on Joelle. She has her preferences and she's within our rights, but we have to be careful that as educators, we're not perpetuating internalized stereotypes about black men, Mr. Reedy. And this stereotype would suggest that black men without a degree is not successful, and that is not true. There's a lot.
All right. Did you listen to her yesterday? She was on one of my friends' platforms.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. I'm sorry.
So she said, based on the fact that I have a degree, I would not want to date a man without one. Is actually say the standard is you have a degree, me have a degree, fine, we can date. But you don't have one, I don't think I should date you unless you have one. Nothing wrong with that,
Nothing wrong with that at all.
I think the problem we are having, or everybody is having, some say we, I think the problem that everybody is having is the very fact that she put the Asian, the white man and the Jewish man in a position to have not these degree that don't have the degree. However, based on that, she said their family structure would have, because it's about money and all. I don't know why I say it. It is about money. It's about
opportunities. Yes, true.
It's about wealth, because again, what she said is if the white man and the Chinese, the Asian man and the Jewish man, the family structured would have them inheriting wealth, generational wealth, and they would have stand out with that. But most time, a black man who doesn't fall in the category of having wealth would have roughly.
Yeah, I get your point, and multiple things can be true at the same time. The challenge that I have with the statement is that we just have to be mindful. We can't just say things because they are our opinions, especially when you have a following, right? We have a social responsibility, and Joelle does have a social responsibility as an educator, as a content creator with over 50,000 people following her. It's just, for me, is to just be more mindful of how you say things and how it come across to the wider population. That's just my challenge. And we just have to really be careful that we're not perpetuating stereotypes about black men, because the stereotype is that only men of other classes can be successful, or other races rather can be successful if they don't have a degree, which we know in the Jamaican space that's not true. There's a lot of successful Jamaican men who are from the black race who didn't get to go to university for whatever reason, whether financial or they just wanted to choose other avenues for success, and they're successful. So that's just my 2 cents about what Joelle said, and we just have to be mindful.
Okay, thank you. No problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Really, can I
Really,
go?
really,
Please.
you know that there's a alright, so at my home, right? We're doing a little bit of construction, right? So in doing this, you know, one of the things I realized, and I realized this from when I was very, very young. You see, as black people,
Mm-hmm.
we shy away from talking about money. It's something I noticed from I was a child. We shy away from speaking about money, right? And I swear to God, I'm not even joking. For the past week plus, I've been asking this man, how much are you going to charge me for the job? Right? For the past week plus. And if me say to you, say the man tell me $20, me I tell you a lie. You get what I'm saying?
And that is the problem with a lot of us. And hold on, you know, so she right. Most show or something. Hold on, Joelle, mute. A lot of times we don't do things professionally. So before we even start the work, we need to sit down and discuss wages and everything like that. But sometimes we go start the work, and sometimes a lot of persons, when they start the work and they reach a certain place, and when them charge the person, know the person, I say, yo, me can't pay that. You should have been telling me from before. But they start, and it's a con, it's a way of con people to, you know. Wanna feel a joke? They start the work and then they tell you, say, yo, a $10,000, you say, no, but Eric when tell me 7. But you start the work and now you're here, so, and you tell me 10. You get what me I say? But what black people should do is sit down, have a contract, sign the contract, and then move from there. But we pretend, enough of we want to use word amount. Me no use word amount anymore. Email with information. You have to sign be a paper for me. Me not play certain game because a lot of times it end up. I have been in Canada right now. 3 big. I'm telling you this. 3 major organizations in Canada that is black owned owe me money. Because guess what me do? Start promote them event before, cause me and them have a mutual agreement. And you see after when they sign me contract and all none of them no pay me. 3 big organizations. Remember me telling you that. And so you know what me do? Cause me as a boy learn from a mistake, you know. Me you know in no chattings unless you sign me paper. So I understand what she's saying. But anyway, Joelle.
Right, let me just finish. Well, let me just finish. I just want to finish. Now, let me just say this. Now, it's one of the things that I notice as black people. We talking about money. Money is pretty much taboo. You get what I'm saying? So, now we know. As him could have charged me $1 million, having money for pay him, right? I do have his money. But my problem is, when you look in other communities, right? They don't shy away from the conversation of financial literacy. They don't shy away from educating their children on financial literacy. The money is not a taboo topic. You get what I'm saying? But you see, in a full community, it's like because it's because me I wonder if because we not really understand how money work. We never grow up in the culture of maybe generational wealth. I see no. It's like we shy away from these topics. We don't talk about money.
All right.
You get what I'm saying?
All right, Joelle.
Where the Joelle? Where the jelly? Wait. Excellent. I think excellent now gonna be long. Jelly, hold on. Excellent. Still here, sir?
Yeah, really, yeah.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon to you and the panel and everyone. Good afternoon, Joel. You see, really, I can understand to each person they have their own, and everybody has their right to have their preference. And that is her preference, you know. And men do have their preference. You will find men who might take a position that you take and then tweak it in a particular space. But when I listened to her, one of my contention was, and one of my drawback was, when she was saying earlier about opportunities and earlier in the program about in terms of forming and people being born or having better opportunities in society based upon their colors and things. I think she was looking only from a Jamaican perspective, because if you were to look at the Asians and bring them back to their country land. The level of poverty with some of them still fine. We have 16 to 17% of Chinese still living in abject poverty. So, and it is the same thing if you go across other platforms. But Joel, it is your right to do that. You might have made yourself look a little bit, you might have made the argument a little bit more challenging by the way you tweaked it. But I just say, oh, open and enter, Jade. Open and enter. 1 second, really.
All right. Jelly,
Can I
come
go
through.
now, reading? All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Now, let me say this. One, please don't interrupt me to Milan. Two, Joelle, you know, some always defend your girl right
Me
through
not
and
me not
through.
fi interrupt you.
No, really, can you calm down? Wait now.
No,
I
but
don't
no,
get
yeah. When I
nervous. You
couldn't
know, I
feel,
get nervous.
tell me have a problem with it now. Cause I feel like say as the host, me must allow you to talk right through and not say nothing at all.
No, really, can you
Me
know
go
me get
talk I do not
nervous
to me
with
back.
you?
You know, go on.
You make me nervous, really. You know this.
Why?
So,
Because you're afraid me go dash
all
question
right.
for you.
But listen to what I am saying, right? No, Joel's preference is Joel's preference. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not going to beat her on her preference, right?
Mhm.
Everyone has free will, and you have the right to have a preference. I'm not going to knock her on that. That's a number one. Number two, a lot of black men today will tell you they will not date black women. Am I lying? There's a lot of black men, we're not gonna say Jamaica, and a lot of men overall nowadays don't want to date black women. And they say it's because we're too harsh. They say it's because we're too masculine. They say so it is a two-sided conversation. So we're not going to pretend as if a lot of black men across the world, they say it's easier to date other races. No, here's what I think, and this is my thing. I think one of the reasons why we as a community, and I'm going to say black community all across the world, is displaced is because we have bought into the mental slavery. And as I'm always telling you, say, so when Bob Marley said free a man from mental slavery, he meant it on many levels. We are, especially in the United States of America, black homes had the strongest marriage rate until the government displaced black men out of the homes, right? So a lot of the issues that we have within the black community is because the government realizes we are stronger together. And it saddens me to see that as a people across the world, we have bought into that narrative and we have allowed them to break up our homes, break up our families, and we are now going to other people. If we come back together, I'm not talking about only relationships, friendships, community building, not gatekeeping from each other, not being in competition with each other. We as a community would finally find back our place. But what we do is we seek validation from outsiders that they will never give us. They will never give it to us, no matter what we do. And let me also say this. I don't think there was an issue if Joelle had said she doesn't want an uneducated man. She stressed black. So even if she did not bring up the other races that she brought up later in the video, the fact that she said she would never date a black man without degree, that brought race into the conversation right there, because she never just say man. So even if she never bring up say she would date a Asian, a white, or a whoever else Jew, it still would have been about race because she said black man. Let's start there. Now, the next thing I would like to say is, as someone who lives in the United States of America, most of white Asian is a 50-50. But most white men, even the nowadays Jews, because Jew money are generational wealth and a long money. But you know what happens to the entitled Jewish children who don't earn the degrees that they own? Or are told you don't have to work because you have generational wealth? When the family entrust a trustee to their trust accounts, because remember, I work in finance and I see these trust accounts every day. Do you know that these same Jewish children whose parents lie, thieves, cheat, and steal to give them the generational wealth that they have, they're the same ones defrauding their family trust accounts? As a fraud analyst, I can say this. So let me tell you, based on, and everything comes from experience. Your experience breeds your perception. So maybe Joelle has not had experience with seeing these things. In Joelle's mind, I see where
Up in a chair, listen, people business.